The Wooden Swing by Samantha Stevenson. The plank of wood was carried up the hill by strong, firm hands, along with a length of rope. The old oak stood expectantly at the top, eager to welcome the new arrival. The wooden plank was hung from the lowest branch, the rope threaded neatly through the holes on either side, suspending it a metre off the ground. A pair of tiny, soft, pink hands placed themselves roughly against the wooden plank in an attempt to hoist the owner up onto the swing. The hand slipped and the owner fell, caught just in time by the same firm, gentle hands that had carried the wood earlier. The strong hands lifted the little girl up onto the swing and gave her a small push. The swing carried the laughing child higher and higher into the sky. It allowed her to fly, and she allowed it to soar. All too soon, it was time to say goodbye. The swing danced and swayed as two children raced each other around it, uncoordinated feet pounding competitively and joyfully on the soft earth. Eventually, the girl collapsed onto the swing, exhausted from the running. Her best friend encouraged her to get up and keep playing, but she was too tired, so she refused. She wrapped her small fingers around the rope of the swing and rested her head in the crook of her arm. She was obviously not about to run again for a while, so he decided to push her instead. The swing carried her higher and higher into the sky. It allowed her to fly, and she allowed it to soar. All too soon, it was time to say goodbye. The rain poured heavily over the grassy hills, battering the swing relentlessly, soaking it through. Nevertheless, the girl sat upon it listening to music, her MP3 player safe in her pocket, her headphones carefully sheltered by her dark hair. She seemed to be waiting for someone, continuously looking around and checking the time. Finally, he came. Her childhood best friend snuck up behind her and hugged her around the waist. She giggled and leaned over backwards to kiss him on the lips. Her heart fluttered higher and higher into the sky. He allowed her spirit to fly, but the swing did not soar. All at once, it was time to leave, but no one said goodbye. The sun beat down upon the swing, almost burning the warped and weathered wood. Walking cautiously, the blindfolded woman followed the smiling man up the hill trustingly. The swing impatiently awaited their presence, eager to soar once again, but they stopped a few meters away. The man took off the woman's blindfold and she gasped, surprised he would take her here of all places for a spontaneous outing. Her surprise at the location was nothing to the shock she felt as the man got down on one knee before her and took her hands in his. The swing hung motionless, untouched and ignored as the man carried the woman away in his arms. He allowed her spirit to fly, but the swing did not soar. How can you say goodbye when you never say hello anymore? Flowers bloomed, sun beamed, leaves fell, and snow settled. Still the swing waited. Still the girl did not return. The wood became more gnarled, more warped, more weathered as time passed. The ropes also grew weak, and one day they snapped. The swing fell. It lay in the dry grass. The ropes splayed around it like broken limbs, alone, forgotten, always waiting for the girl. Finally she came. She found the swing and picked it up with hands as gnarled as the wood they were holding. She did not fly, but she allowed it to soar. Holding it close to her chest, she smiled at the memories the wooden plank held. Never again would she say goodbye, until, of course, it was time.